Riding in Anyox, BC. The town shut down in 1935, and very good chance I'm the first person to ride in Anyox since it closed down. We'll do a rubble. So this was the, I guess the mill, and the smelter stack. Remnants of the old railway, or I guess the track for what they shipped all the ore out of. The trestle for the rail, still there. A little bit of a grunt coming up. A little bit of a pull. 15.8%. Get the old heart going. Whew. This one's gonna be tough. Let's see. May not be able to ride it. It's loose. And it's steep. Oh no. Oh. He's loose. Oh. Sucker's 19, 20%. And she keeps going. Fuck. A little bit of relief, I hope. Yeah. Oh. And another one. It's really loose. We'll see. Maybe it's not so bad. Oh, I think I can do it. Let's get through this little bit of relief. So much for recovery day after tour to Smithers. But it's worth it. Pretty fortunate to have a good friend who does tours out here. I get to come along, lend him a hand, and explore. And there's another big one. I think I'm gonna make this a segment so I can be the king of the hill for once until someone else comes and smashes it, but we'll see. Hi. She's a good one. Another 18-20%. Good thing this climbs well. Canada J, aka Whiskey Jack. The Canada J sounds better. Mind you, whiskey's not too bad. What do we have here? Hello, Mr. Porcupine. Taking those little suckers out of my dog's mouth a lot of times. Pretty cool remnants, an old steam engine and that. And if you look off in the distance, there's a old telephone pole that is there, and then another one just over there. And over that way you can hear the river, and it tells me that I'm pretty close to the dam. Let's go check it out. Oh, there she is. And this is going to be a bugger to climb. I'll probably end up walking most of the loose. Well, here on the dam at Anyox, and I'm with my good friend Rob Bryce, who is owner-operator of Northern BC Jet Boat Tours, and yeah, a good friend of mine. We've known each other since '95 and spent a fair bit of time driving all over Western Canada, racing sled dogs together, and and that, and here it is many years later. We're touring around in areas. Tell me about Anyox.
Yeah, so we're fortunate enough to have access to this site. It's a private site, yeah, owned by a gentleman and his family and that. So yeah, we run ghost town tours here. So it operated from 1914 to 1935 and provided copper. So a lot of it for World War I, and then later on in the Depression, 1929 to 30s, early 30s, copper prices tumbled and they just couldn't make a go of it anymore, and they decided to close down the mine. And yeah, and now it's sat since 35 and until now basically as a ghost town, but there's still lots of remnants like this, you know, massive dam here that was built in 1924, and this provided storage of water for electricity for their powerhouse. So this wasn't a hydroelectric dam, it was just a storage dam to get them through the winter months when you know, they had no rainfall. There was mostly snowfall up here, so they had no water. So they had to let water out slowly all winter long until the spring thaws came and basically gave them lots of water again. So yeah, so the town was owned by a company called Granby Consolidated. They operated a bunch of different mines and they were running out of copper in some of their other ones, so they came up here and yeah, built this town. And starting in 1912, and the first smelter, the first copper through the smelter was in 1914. Yeah, it was quite the bustling town with hospitals and banks and, you know, red light district, movie theaters. Yeah, they were fairly high tech for their time. You know, they had stuff up here in the middle of nowhere that no other towns had. Yeah, one of the interesting things, the cemetery they have, there was I think 350 people buried in that cemetery that still exists today. Most of the grave sites are just humps, but there, you know, there's I think 20 different grave markers that are still visible today. And yeah, it's pretty amazing with the concrete and the steel structures that are still remaining after, you know, most of them are at least 100 years old or getting close to being 100 years old right now, and they still remain, and they're still all intact, no graffiti, no nothing. And yeah, it's an amazing place to go back in time and see what things were like back then. So yeah, Anyox, the town that got lost.
Well, thanks. And like I said, I'm pretty fortunate to be able to join Rob on some of his adventures, and yeah, I can say that I'm probably one of the first persons to ride a mountain bike up to the dam, and it was a good one.
And now Steve is going to ride his bike across the dam. He'll be the first person ever to ride a bicycle across the dam.
And
we can't wait to see that footage. It'll be amazing.
And I could very well be the last too. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna pass on that. But
Steve never backs down from a challenge, so you just wait for that footage. It's coming.